No Friend to This House, written and read by Natalie Haynes. To Maria, with love. They say we live a life at home, without danger, while they do battle with spears, those fools. I would prefer to stand 3 times behind a shield than give birth once. Euripides, Medea, 248 to 251. Part 1. The Voyage of the Argo. Argo. If only the Argo had sunk to the bottom of the sea. It was hardly the fault of the Argo. This was the kind of thing people said in those days. If you couldn't blame anyone, you'd say it was the ship. But Jason didn't set his Argonauts to row across the oceans because he was captain of the Argo. The men built the Argo because Jason wanted to find the fleece. So if you were trying to find the beginning of this story, then that's where you would go, to the glimmering softness of the golden ram. Would you choose the day it was born? Or the day it appeared in Hellas to rescue 2 children about to lose their lives? But we will start in the place where the ship set sail. Alcimede, rather than winging its way. Alcimede had never been a fortunate woman, and she said so to anybody who would listen. Of course, she acknowledged that it might look to others as though she had been very fortunate because when she was young, Alcimede had married Aeson, the older son of the aging king of Iolcus. And that was the kind of thing that girls prayed for. When I grow up, Hera, please let me marry a king, like you did. And her prayers had almost come true. The older son of a king would become king in time, so all Alcimede had to do was wait. And perhaps that had been her mistake. She had foolishly thought the fates had granted her a happy lot. The old man would die, and she would become queen. And, another ingredient in her happiness, Aeson was a soft, kind man who never raised his voice or tried to win an argument. His father issued occasional decrees, and he allowed his wife to make decisions about everything else. This suited Alcimede well, because she was her parents' only child, and she had never learned to yield to anyone. And they were both still so young. Her husband had plenty of time to become domineering and inflexible. When the old king died, Alcimede mourned in public and rejoiced in private. She would not miss the old tyrant, she doubted anyone would. And she would enjoy seeing his younger son, Peleus, lose influence just as she gained it. The royal house would now have a king and queen, as was proper. She would go on to tell her friends, and, when they had given up listening to her, her slaves, this was the last time she felt happiness. Because it was not his youth that made Aeson weak, she discovered. It was his nature. And Peleus had known this from infancy, from the first time he grabbed at a toy rattle that belonged to his brother, and then kept it. He watched as Aeson tried to retrieve the little clay dog, shouted and screamed until Aeson crawled away. He never forgot how quickly his brother gave up, even when it was something he wanted very much. He took a simple lesson from their boyhood. Aeson didn't want anything as much as Peleus wanted everything. So Peleus seized the throne of Iolcus for himself. He did not ask or offer to share power, he simply took it. And Aeson allowed it, because he didn't know what else to do or how to oppose it. Was he meant to take up arms against his own brother? Would any of their citizens wish for a civil war? Was it not better to let Peleus have what he so ardently wanted and avoid bloodshed? Alcimede had never forgiven either her brother-in-law or her husband for this disgrace, bundled out of the palace while pregnant, and Aeson doing nothing about it except accepting their degraded status. Would he not fight for his son's future if not for his own? The women of Iolcus asked, and their husbands and brothers all gave the same reply. Aeson would never fight for anything.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?